Did she unintentionally create an album that seems to be about an affair and about being the other woman and wanting your man to end the relationship that he keeps telling you he's going to end? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen, and here I like to do cultural and sociological commentary through the lens of popular media and pop culture, as well as looking at public figures. So today I want to do something a little bit different from what I've been doing lately, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of a conspiracy theory surrounding Lorde's album Melodrama, which came out a few years ago. It came out in June 2017. And according to Lorde, it's a loose concept album that is sort of based around the events that led up to a house party as well as the house party itself. And Lorde has said that, it's about being alone. And it's about the good parts of being alone and the bad parts of being alone. And it's based on events that happened in her home country with her friends. And she's from New Zealand. So that's what Lorde says the album's about. It was written after her first breakup, but she has said it's not like a breakup album. Lorde worked on this album with Jack Antonoff, who at the time was dating Lena Dunham. They dated for 5 years and were living together. And throughout the, writing, recording, production, and release of the album, Jack Antonoff was with Lena Dunham. Lorde and Jack Antonoff started writing together for this album in July of 2015, and locations such as studio spaces, professional studio spaces, as well as the studio that he had in his apartment in New York, where he lived with Lena Dunham. And they worked through the end of 2015, and they continued their work throughout 2016. It was in spring of 2016 when Lorde actually moved into that apartment that Lena and Jack Antonoff shared. Something to note is that during 2016, Lena Dunham was working on the Clinton campaign and was away for quite a lot of time. Also, in the spring of this same year that she moved into that apartment, Lorde and Jack Antonoff went to Coachella together. Lorde said that she was inspired by the events at Coachella to write 2 of the songs on the album, Sober and Sober 2. In March of 2017, the public got its first taste of the album when Lorde performed the song Green Light on Saturday Night Live. She wore a wedding dress and sat back to back with Jack Antonoff as he played the piano while she sang. The album was released in June 2017. 6 months later, in December 2017, Jack Antonoff and Lena Dunham broke up publicly, and they said that they had actually been breaking up for the last 6 months or so. So since the album was released, essentially. Since the album's release and throughout the promotional events for this album and the tour, Jack Antonoff and Lorde have been spotted behaving the way you would expect somebody who's in love to behave. You see them, just the way they look at each other, the way they dance together, the way they talk about each other. It very much seems like there's a chemistry there. In fact, at one point during this time period, he actually came home to New Zealand and met Lorde's mom. I'm gonna include some pictures and clips of what I'm talking about, the way they just kind of seemed like 2 people in love.
Most of it, right?
Are you chewing gum?
Yeah, is that bad?
Are you chewing gum right now?
I don't gotta sing. I just want to say that New Yorkers will understand this. I've seen Ella eat the sushi at the bodega.
Stop taking my microphone.
And this is actually sort of interesting. Ella walks down the street in New York City barefoot.
I'm getting roasted at my own show. Isn't this crazy?
But for you, darling, I do it all again. New York isn't New York without your love.
I'm gonna do a song that you're not in, but do you want to just sit with me?
Play it?
Do you want to play it?
I'd rather play it than just sit.
You want to play it? You can play it. This is very unprofessional.
At the beginning of the video, I mentioned a conspiracy theory around this album, but I didn't really explain what it was. But at this point, you've probably got some guess as to what that conspiracy theory was. Essentially, fans of the album and of Lorde felt that it really seemed like there may have been some sort of affair that took place during the writing of this album and some sort of romantic relationship that developed between the two of them after the breakup or before the breakup between Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff. Of course, this is a conspiracy theory. It's not necessarily true. Jack Antonoff and Lorde have both denied the claims. Lena Dunham has publicly stated that she doesn't think that anything happened between the two of them and that all she can really do is believe that Jack is telling her the truth. But she also hasn't spoken to Lorde since the breakup with Jack. So, you know, that says something because Lena and Lorde were actually good friends before this happened. Okay, so now that I've explained the general timeline and just kind of the story of what happened and this fan theory, I want to get into actually the point of the video. The point of this video is that I want to look through songs from Melodrama, the album, and talk about which interpretation rings true to me. The question I'm going to try to answer today is, did Lorde achieve her stated goal of creating a loose concept album that's about a house party and the events that led up to it? Or did she unintentionally create an album that seems to be about an affair and about being the other woman and wanting your man to end the relationship that he keeps telling you he's going to end? This case is a prime example of how the concept of death of the author can be applied. So death of the author is essentially this idea that once a piece of work, piece of art is out there for public consumption, the author's intention and what the author was going for is irrelevant. What matters is what people get out of the piece of work and the piece of art. So we're going to explore this album and kind of look at, you know, what Lorde says the album is about versus what a lot of people really feel like it might be about, and we're just gonna see what interpretation seems to hold up. So the first song is called Green Light. The first stanza of this song is, I do my makeup in somebody else's car. We order different drinks at the same bars. I know about what you did and I want to scream the truth. She thinks you love the beach, you're such a damn liar. What jumps out to me in terms of like the affair interpretation of the album is where she says, I know about what you did and I want to scream the truth. You know, she's talking to somebody who did something wrong. And when the line of, she thinks you love the beach, you're such a damn liar, you know, we're talking about another woman in this situation. So we've got three characters, right? We have the speaker, we have the guy she's speaking to, and the girl that they're talking about. The next lyric that really stands out to me is where it says that, thought you said that you would always be in love, but you're not in love no more. Did it frighten you how we kissed when we danced on the light up floor? This guy that she's singing to thought he would always be in love with somebody, but he's not in love with them anymore. And now he's kissed the singer as they danced on the light up floor. That to me screams infidelity. The next stanza, she says, I hear sounds in my mind, brand new sounds in my mind. But honey, I'll be seeing you ever I go. I'll be seeing you down every road. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. This new sounds in my mind thing could be a reference to her working with a new producer. And then she says, you know, I'll come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. I wish I could get my things and just let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. This is talking about like maybe a relationship that's supposed to be ending, but it's not as simple as just letting go and getting your things and leaving, which sounds like maybe it's an affair that he's trying to end and it's hard for her to let go. So when you listen to Green Light, some things stand out. You've got somebody who's singing to somebody who's lying to another woman, and she knows about a secret, that something he did wrong that she wants to tell the truth about. She talks about rumors coming back to bite people. She talks about wanting that green light. She's waiting for the green light. So she's waiting for him to dump his girlfriend. That would be the green light. It's not a breakup song. It's not about that breakup that she and her boyfriend had just had. It's a song about not being able to let go of somebody and waiting for them to tell you that you can finally be together. Every way I listen to this song, I can't think of any interpretation that isn't, there is someone that she's waiting for to tie up his loose ends, take care of his business so they can be together. She's waiting for the green light. The next song on the album is Sober, and this is the one of the songs that was written at Coachella after Lorde went with Jack Antonoff to Coachella. So let's look at that one. The first stanza of this song, she says, "Oh God, I'm clean out of air in my lungs, it's all gone. Played it so nonchalant, it's time we danced with the truth. Move along with the truth. We're sleeping through all the days, I'm acting like I don't see every ribbon you use to tie yourself to me. But my hips have Mr. Hips, so let's get to know the kicks. Will you sway with me, go astray with me?" So when I read that, this is a person, she's air's out of her lungs, she's breathless, she's, excited, she can't breathe, so maybe she's nervous. She's either nervous or excited. And she's been trying to play it nonchalant, be chill. And she's saying, it's time we danced with the truth, move along with the truth. So she's saying, we need to be honest. The lies need to stop. So, back in the first song, Green Light, when she said, I know about what you did and I want to scream the truth, this song here is her actually saying, like, we need to come out and be honest. She says, like, we're sleeping through the days. I'm acting like I don't see all the ribbons you use to tie yourself to me. So what I'm reading from that line is like, I'm acting like I don't see the excuses that you're making so that we can spend time together, even though we really shouldn't. So to me, again, that just continues building this image of there's an affair. And then my hips of Mr. Hips, will you sway with me, go astray with me, kind of sounds like, let's dance, let's be intimate, let's have a good time, I miss you. So now we're moving into the chorus where she says, King and Queen of the Weekend, ain't a pill that could touch our rush, but what will we do when we're sober? When you dream with the fever, bet you wish you could touch our rush, but what will we do when we're sober? These are the games of the weekend. We pretend that we just don't care, but we care. But what will we do when we're sober? And when you dream with the fever, bet you wish you could touch our rush, but what will we do when we're sober? So she's comparing this affair, this relationship to, substances. And she's saying like, things are great when we're together and we're able to be, kind of romantic, but when we can't, how's that going to work out? And so in my mind, sobriety is talking about when Lena Dunham's back in town, when she's not working on the Clinton campaign. So it talks about like, it says, these are the games of the weekend. We pretend that we just don't care, but we care. I'm kind of interpreting that as either like, maybe they're only conducting their affair on the weekend, or maybe they're having to play a game on the weekend where they're pretending like they aren't having an affair because his girlfriend's back in town. I don't know. It says like, oh God, I'm closing my teeth around this liquor wet lime. Night, lose my mind. I know you're feeling it too. Can we keep up with the ruse? Bodies all through my house. I know this story by heart. Jack and Jill get effed up and possessive when they get dark. But my hips have Mr. Hips, so let's get to know the kicks. Will you sway with me, go astray with me? When she says, I'm closing my teeth around this liquor wet lime, is saying like, I'm giving in. So she's closing her teeth around this liquor wet lime. She's taking a tequila shot, right? And she's, like I said, comparing substances to this relationship that they are engaging in that they know that they can't really engage in. And so this part of the song seems like they're giving in to their desires. It talks about, though, getting messed up and possessive. So it seems like maybe there's some level of conflict happening in this relationship that she's singing about, which would be consistent with some of the things that I read. Like there was a case where an interviewer was supposed to come meet Jack and Lorde at their apartment. And Lorde texted saying like, actually, we can't today. And she essentially said she and Jack were having a fight. And the next like line that I think stands out to me is when she says, midnight we're fading, till daylight we're jaded. We know that it's over. In the morning you'll be dancing with all the heartache and the treason and the fantasies of leaving. but we know that when it's over in the morning, you'll be dancing with us. These next lines seem to be talking about having to, you know, put their affair back away and pretend like it's not happening. You know, in the morning it's over. So the morning is like when the girlfriend's back in town, or when they're in public and they can't be as open about their affair. And then it also says, in the morning you'll be dancing with the heartache and the treason, the fantasies of leaving. So I have no idea how to interpret that line as anything other than he is cheating on his girlfriend, right? Like, you'll be, in the morning, you'll be dancing with all of the heartache and the treason and the fantasies of leaving. So he's committing treason. What is this treason if not cheating on his girlfriend, right? The fantasies of leaving. Fantasies of leaving the girl he's cheating on with, Lord. Then it says, but we know that when it's over in the morning, you'll be dancing with us. So in my mind, when she's saying you'll be dancing with, what she's thinking about, like, is you'll be thinking about, it's going to be on your mind. She's saying us, our love, is going to be on your mind in the morning, even when we aren't physically able to be together again. So that's the end of Sober. To me, the most, like, obvious part of that song that makes it clear, like, this song might be about a party, but it's about people who are cheating. This song might be about a party, but, like, it's also about a guy who's 100% cheating on his girlfriend with the speaker of the song. Like, there is no way around the line that says you'll be dancing with the heartache and the treason and the fantasy of leaving. Like, that's, to me, just very obviously about cheating. The next song is Homemade Dynamite. The first few lines of this song go like this. A couple rebel Top Gun pilots flying with nowhere to be. Don't know you super well, but I think that you might be the same as me. Behave abnormally. And so, to me, that is pretty consistent with her singing about Jack, because she and Jack have both said in interviews that, like, as soon as they met, they just kind of vibed, and she just knew he was great, and they just get along super well, and they just really bounce off each other's energies. Like, they like gush about each other in interviews. Seems like it's describing Jack and when she first met Jack. Like, that's how it sounds to me. So then the next line is, let's let things come out of the woodwork. I'll give you my best side, tell you all my best lies. Yeah, awesome, right? And she says, seeing me rolling, showing someone else love, dancing with your shoes off. No, I think you're awesome, right? So this line about, like, I'll tell you all my best lies, I'll show you my best side, is talking about kind of like that early infatuation phase when you first met someone and you're putting out your best side. When she says, seeing me rolling, showing someone else love, dancing with your shoes off, no, I think you're awesome, right? It sounds like maybe trying to make this guy jealous by dancing with someone else. So the chorus of this song goes like this. It's, our rules, our dreams were blind, blowing up with homemade dynamite. Our friends, our drinks, we get inspired, blowing up with homemade dynamite. That sounds like we're not thinking about what our rules are, like what our ethics and what things that what our morals are. We're not thinking about our dreams for the future. We're blind. We're living in this moment right here, and that's it. The next line after that is blowing up with homemade dynamite. And so that kind of sounds like when you say we're blowing stuff up, it seems kind of like you're being self-destructive. And I don't know what's more self-destructive than cheating on your girlfriend or being the other woman, because, I mean, that hurts everyone, including yourself. So she says, again, let's let things come out of the woodwork. I'll give you my best side, tell you all my best lies. See me rolling, showing someone else love, hands under your t-shirt. No, I think you're awesome, right? So now she's moved from, so now she's touching him. They're dancing together. He saw her dancing with someone else, and now she's got her hands under his t-shirt. So the song indicates some level of progression in their physical relationship. When I hear this song, it's definitely about being at a party, but to me it's about him cheating on his girlfriend at a party, and the singer of the song being the other woman who's hooking up with someone's boyfriend at a party. That's how it reads to me. This next song is called The Louvre, and the first lines go, Well, summer slipped us underneath her tongue. Our nights and days are perfumed with obsession. Half of my wardrobe is on your bedroom floor. Use our eyes, throw our hands overboard. So that to me is saying like, it's like talking about a summer love. Our days or nights are perfumed with obsession. So they are really into each other. Fun fact, Lorde has said that they were obsessed with each other in interviews. She said me and Jack are obsessed with each other. So interesting use of words. And she says, half my wardrobe is on your bedroom floor. You know, she's living with this guy, whoever she's singing about. Next we have a rush at the beginning. I get caught up just for a minute. But lover, you're the one to blame. All that you're doing. Can you hear the violence? So here she's saying like, at the beginning there was a rush and I got caught up for a minute. But now she's like not caught up anymore. And she's saying, you're the one to blame. I feel like that's probably talking about how he's, you know, kind of making her fall in love with him when she knows that he's with someone else. And then she says, megaphone to my chest, broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it. I feel like she's kind of breaking the fourth wall where she's saying basically like, I'm going to write about these feelings that you're putting in my heart, and I'm going to make everybody dance to it. And then that's this album that she made where she's making everybody dance to the feelings of her heart, which are being spawned by someone who's doing something wrong, right? Because again, she said, lover, you're the one to blame. So then the next part of the song, she says, our thing progresses, I call and you come through, blow all my friendships to sit in hell with you, but we're the greatest, they'll hang us in the Louvre, down the back, but who cares, still the Louvre. So this is now saying like, you know, things have escalated between them, and she's blowing all her friendships to sit in hell with this guy. And so I think I mentioned that Lena Dunham and Lorde were friends. Someone else that Lorde used to be friends with was Taylor Swift, who was friends with Lena Dunham. And she's no longer friends with either of those people. And it's possible that, you know, sleeping with someone's boyfriend would end the friendship, as well as the friendship of any mutual friends you guys have. So yeah, that's that song. I'm gonna skip the rest of it. It's mostly chorus. The next song I want to talk about is Liability. This song feels kind of like a breakup song, but not quite. It almost feels more like a song about your lover telling you that he's not leaving his girlfriend actually. And so let me just, I'm gonna read some of the lines. So it says, baby really hurt me, crying in the taxi. He don't want to know me, says he made the big mistake of dancing in my storm, says it was poison. He feels like he made a mistake by getting wrapped up with her in this relationship that they had. And the says it was poison line would make a lot of sense if this relationship was an affair, because people tend to view affairs as being somewhat toxic. This song is also a lot about her relationship with herself, and I'm gonna skip that because it doesn't really have to do with the affair. The next song on the album is Hard Feelings / Loveless, where she says, could you be tender and I will sit close to you. Let's give it a minute before we admit that we're through. Because this is the winter. Our bodies are young and blue. I'm at Jungle City, it's late, and this song is for you. So this is about a relationship that's ending, right? And she doesn't want to admit that they're over. And she says, guess this is the winter. So this whole album, she's been referencing summer as being like their relationship. So I think when she says summer, she doesn't necessarily mean the season. She means like the summer of their love. But this song is saying, guess this is winter. So our love is dead, basically. She says, I remember the rush when forever was us, before all of the winds of regret and mistrust. So when I'm listening to that, she's saying like she remembers the rush when forever was us. So like the start of the relationship and how everything was so intense, and she just kind of fell into it. But then the next line is before all of the winds of regret and mistrust. And I think the winds of regret are him realizing that he's cheating on his girlfriend and that's messed up. And then of mistrust are maybe the girlfriend possibly catching on to things, or there being mistrust between Lorde and this guy because, you know, if you're dating someone who's with someone else, that's going to make you jealous and feel mistrustful, right? And then the next line is hard feelings. These are what they call hard feelings of love, when the sweet words and fevers all leave us right here in the cold, along with the hard feelings of love. God, I wish I believed you when you told me this was my home. So this is saying that, like, after love, you're left with just, like, the sadness when it's over. So I'm going to read the next part of the song where she says, I light all the candles, got flowers for all my rooms. I care for myself the way I used to care about you. These days we kiss and we keep busy. The waves come after midnight. I call from underwater. Why even try to get right? When you've outgrown a lover, the whole world knows but you. It's time to let go of this endless summer afternoon. So when I read this, to me it seems like she's saying, like, the first part of this stanza, she's saying, like, I'm taking care of myself, I'm focusing on myself. But then she says, the waves come after midnight. So, like, the waves of sadness or of missing this guy. And then she says, I call from underwater. Why even try to get right? So she's saying, like, you know, now that the waves of sadness have hit her and she's just drowning in her sadness, she calls him. And she's like, why even try to get right? When you've outgrown a lover, the whole world knows but you. It's time to let go of this endless summer afternoon. And so to me, that's reading like she's called him and saying, like, you've outgrown your girlfriend. Like, you're the last person to realize this. Let go of this endless summer afternoon, which is his relationship with her. Like, you need to let go of it because you've outgrown her. So, like, this song really feels like someone saying, like, you need to break up with your girlfriend. So then the next line, you know, skipping some lines, she says, like, it was real for me. Now I'll fake it every single day till I don't need fantasy, till I feel you leave your girlfriend, maybe? But I still remember everything, how we drift by in groceries, how you dance for me. I'll start letting go of little things until I'm so far away from you. And so this song, she seems kind of like she's going back and forth between, like, I'm letting go and focusing on myself, and then other parts of the song, she seems like she's like, no, stay with me. Which really tracks when you think about it in the context of an affair, because I think a lot of the times in a situation like that, where you're doing something wrong, there's probably are starts and stops where you're like, no, this is wrong, I need to, like, move on, and then you're falling back into it. And then the next part of the song kind of changes tone, and she says, bet you want to rip my heart out, bet you want to skip my calls now. Well, guess what, I like that, because I'm gonna mess your life up, gonna want to tape my mouth shut. Look out, lovers. We're LOVELESS, spelling loveless, generation, all messing with our lovers' heads, generation. And she repeats that a few times. And so that part of the song kind of seems about, like, maybe he started pulling away from her because he's cheating on his girlfriend and he shouldn't be. And she's saying, like, well, guess what? I like that. Kind of referencing the whole, like, girls like people who are a little bit cold to them. Not that girls do like that, but, like, that's like a trope. And she's saying she does like that. And she's saying, like, you're gonna want to tape my mouth shut. And when I read that line, I'm just thinking, like, why? Is it because you're writing about your affair in detail for your next album? Is that why he's gonna want to tape your mouth shut? This next song is Sober too, and it was, like Sober, written, it was inspired by the events at Coachella that Lorde attended with Jack Antonoff. So let's just look at what she wrote after that. She said, you asked if I was feeling it, I'm psycho high. No, you won't remember in the morning when I speak my mind. Lights are on and they've gone home, but who am I? Oh, how fast the evening passes cleaning up the champagne glasses. So just reading this right now, this is probably the first song that to me actually does seem like it's about a house party. This song I honestly have the least to say about. I don't know. So we're gonna go to the next one. Next song is Writer in the Dark. So this one, to me, it seems like the song where he's basically telling her, like, I'm not leaving my girlfriend for you. So I'm gonna tell you why. It says, break the news you're walking out to be a good man for someone else. I'm sorry I was never good like you. Stood on my chest and kept me down. Hated hearing my name on the lips of a crowd. Did my best to exist just for you. So this song to me, I mean, like I said from the very beginning, like, we don't actually know what this album is about. And a lot of times when someone writes, they're pulling from a lot of different inspirations. So the vibe that I'm getting here, like from the first few lines, is like, break the news you're walking out to be a good man for someone else. So that seems like saying, I'm not leaving my girlfriend. I'm going to be a good man. I'm going to stand by her. During this time period, Lena Dunham was dealing with some pretty serious health issues. So I feel like when she says to be a good man for someone else, she's saying like, he's going to do right by his girlfriend. And then she says like, sorry, I was never good like you. You stood on my chest and kept me down, hated hearing my name on the lips of a crowd, did my best to exist just for you. So to me, that actually reads as possibly being about the breakup that happened shortly before this album was written, because it's about a guy who doesn't like that she's famous and doesn't like that she, you know, doesn't just exist for him. And then she says like, bet you rue the day you kissed a rider in the dark. Now she's gonna play and sing and lock you in her heart. So it's kind of like in that other song where she says, you're gonna want to tape my mouth shut. It seems like she's saying like, you're gonna regret, you know, all of this because I'm gonna write songs about you and people are gonna know. She says, I am my mother's child. I'll love you till my breathing stops. I'll love you till you call the cops on me. But in my darkest hours, I've stumbled on a secret power. I'll find a way to be without you, babe. And then she says, I still feel you now and then, slow like pseudoephedrine. When you see me, will you say I've changed? I ride the subway, read the signs. I let the seasons change my mind. I love it here since I've stopped needing you. And so that seems like someone, like she's trying to like take back her independence, even though she's someone who loves very deeply and whose love is very enduring. It seems like she's saying like, I can live without you though. I don't need you. And she says, I like it here since I've stopped needing you. So it reads like she's living somewhere other than like her hometown, possibly New York City after their affair has ended. It seems kind of like a breakup song. So next we have Supercut, and this song is kind of about the way we romanticize past relationships once we're not in them. So the song goes, in my head, I play a supercut of us, all the magic we gave off, all the love we hadn't lost. And in my head, the visions never stop. These ribbons wrap me up, but when I reach for you, there's just a supercut. So we see her using the word ribbons again, which she mentioned earlier in the album when she was talking about the ribbons he uses to tie herself to him, or to tie himself to her, that she's pretending not to notice. So that feels like it's another reference to Jack. And saying like, she remembers all these good parts and all the highlights of their relationship. But that's all that's left is the memories, and not the actual relationship. And then she says, in your car, radio up, in your car, the radio up. We keep trying to talk about us. I'm someone you maybe might love. I'll be your quiet afternoon crush. Be your violent overnight rush, make you crazy over my touch, but it's just a supercut of us. So she's thinking back on memories where they're in their car, the radio on, and they're trying to talk about their relationship. And apparently in this conversation, he's saying like, I might love you. And then she's saying, I'll be your quiet afternoon crush, which seems like I'll be your side piece. We can just keep it secret. And then later, be your violent overnight rush, which kind of references back to that first song where of the album where she talked about, can you see the violence, or can you hear the violence in the heart? So I feel like that's talking about like, kind of like the emotional violence of an affair. And then she says, but it's just a supercut of us. So it's just the memories. And then she says, so I fall into continents and cars, all the stages and stars. I turn all of it to just a supercut. Because in my head, I do everything right. When you call, I'll forgive and not fight. Because ours are the moments I play in the dark. We were wild and fluorescent, come home to my heart. So she's singing about missing this person and singing about like, you know, I'll do everything right if we do it again. Or in her memories, you know, she's remembering when she did things right and not when she messed up. So it's, you know, seems like it's singing about regret and about missing this person and wishing that things had gone differently. And then next, in your car, radio up, we keep trying to talk about us. Slow motion, I'm watching our love. Like, it went from the last time we saw this chorus, she said, I'm someone you maybe might love. And then this time she replaced that line with slow motion, I'm watching our love. So we've gone from he might love her to we're in love. So it kind of is confirming that there was a love between whoever the song is about and the writer. So the next song is the reprise of Liability, where she says, like, I'm gonna skip some of it, but some of the lyrics are, all the dreams that get harder and all of the things that I offer you and all of the stuff that we harbor make all of the kids in the choir sing woohoo. So this feels like she's referencing again, like from the beginning where she said, like, megaphone to my chest, you know, the boom, 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 make them all dance to it. Now she's saying, like, all of the stuff we harbor make all the kids in the choir sing woohoo. So she's talking about, like, putting her feelings into the song and having people sing along with her feelings. And she says, maybe all this is the party. Maybe the tears and the highs we breathe. Maybe all of this is the party. Maybe we just do it violently. But you're not what you thought you were. So I feel like that's saying, like, especially the you're not who you thought you were line, I think is saying, like, you're not the good man that you thought you were. You cheated on your girlfriend. Like, I don't know. The last song of the album is Perfect Places. And so it goes like this. It's, every night I live and die, feel the party to my bones. Watch the wasters blow the speakers, spill my guts beneath the outdoor light. It's just another graceless night. I hate the headlines and the weather. I'm 19 and I'm on fire. But when we're dancing, I'm all right. It's just another graceless night. So this really does seem just to be about a party. And the whole spilling the guts beneath the outdoor light could be about, like, at night in this outdoor light, maybe at Coachella, she's talking about her feelings to this guy. And she says, but when we're dancing, I'm all right. And when they're just dancing and they're not talking about the affair, it's okay. Okay, so she says, are you lost enough? Have another drink. Get lost in us. This is how we get notorious. When she says, are you lost enough? Have another drink. Get lost in us. I don't think she's literally saying have another drink. I think she's saying, like, kiss me or dance with me or do something, like, focus on us. Let's just think about us. Let's forget about the world. Then she says, every night I live and die. Meet somebody, take them home. Let's kiss and then take off our clothes. It's just another graceless night. Because all of the things we're taking, because we're young and we're ashamed, sends us to perfect places. All our heroes fading. Now I can't stand to be alone. Let's go to perfect places. Trying to find these perfect places. What the F are perfect places anyway? All the nights spent off our faces trying to find these perfect places. What the F are perfect places anyway? So this last song feels like it's about, like, trying to numb your shame and your feelings. So now that I've read through all of the songs on the album and kind of talked about the way I see them, I hope that, like, you can see what I mean. So to me, like, even though, you know, she says this album is about a party and the events leading up to it, like, when I read through these songs, what I get out of it is it's an illicit affair. Oops, Taylor Swift reference. It's a secret relationship. It's like, you know, someone's doing something wrong. It seems like there's infidelity, and it's like, you know, there's earlier in the album, she's like singing about how she wants the green light. She wants them to be together and for him to leave his girlfriend. And, you know, by this end of the album, it seems kind of like, you know, that's pretty obvious that that's not going to happen. And so she's been singing about, like, letting go and learning to be alone and, you know, going to cool places to kind of forget about problems. So yeah, going through that album, to me, it really does seem like it's about an affair. Even if it's not, even if there wasn't an actual affair, the lyrics of the album read like someone who wants their lover to leave his girlfriend and like someone who feels pretty guilty about things, and it reads like it's about a relationship that seems to be very off and on, possibly because they keep deciding not to keep cheating and he hasn't left his girlfriend, so they have to break up. I don't know. So yeah. What do you think about this album? Do you feel like it's about a house party and it's about being alone? Or do you think it might have other things going on too? Like, it's very possible that she, like I said, is trying to reference a house party with this album, but like, I don't think that you can really deny the little pieces that indicate infidelity throughout the album. Like, there are just way too many lines, like when she talks about treasons and fantasies of leaving, as well as like, I know about what you did and I want to scream the truth. You're such a damn liar. You know, lines like that. Like, I don't know what else those are other than there's an affair happening. So thank you if you made it to this point in the video. I hope you were able to stick with it. I hope that I'm able to edit this into something coherent. Please comment below what your thoughts are, what you think this album is about. Yeah, and again, remember, like, I'm talking about like the words on the paper and just what it seems like it's about. Like, I'm not talking about Lorde's life and like what she actually did. It's just what I get out of these songs is what I'm talking about. So yeah. And thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.